Hey gang, this video is being done primarily for the buyers of our boat, though I guess I'll just leave it up for general purpose. This is covering preparing the boat for surf mode on the Sports B52 V23. This is a topic of discussion and controversy because there are some very specific processes involved with this boat. So for the sake of argument, we're going to imagine the boat is out on the water and we are preparing to surf. Bring the boat to a stop and we're going to open the actuator tanks for the hard ballast. Toggling these switches up is going to engage an actuator in the back of the boat, which is going to open the fill drain ports on the back of the hull. This center switch is a center toggle to switch the ballast gauge from the left to the right tank. The ballast gauge is over here. So we're going to open the actuators and then switch the tank to either left or right and monitor the tank fill status. The gauge should jump within a few seconds and start filling. Both of the ballast tanks should be completely full in about 60 seconds. So if you don't see that ballast gauge start moving very rapidly off of empty, oftentimes it could be because an actuator or a gate in the back is stuck, in which case sometimes toggling the actuator once or twice will give it a little kickstart and get it going again. Once that ballast gauge shows completely full on both left and right tank, we can go ahead and center that up, turn those off, and then we can go over here to our P&P switches for the locker bags. We'll go ahead and engage both of those, and that will begin filling the bags. Let me explain why this process is so important that it be done in order. These are the locker P&P bags. This is your overflow hose, plumbed from the top of the bag to the outside of the boat. Obviously, if you see water spraying out the side of the boat, it probably means that bag is full and you can turn that pump off. This is the fill hose that runs down here to the pumps. Pumps are located down here in the engine compartment on the bottom. You can't really see them that well, but trust me, they're down there. Yeah, there's one of them. It's the strainer. One of them's right next to the strainer down there, and the other one is over here on this side. Anyways, the reason that's important to know is that the bags empty, the bottom of the bag is plumbed directly into the hard tanks. So if you begin filling the bags, you're going to have to fill the bags and the hard tanks using just the pump. That's 3,000 pounds of water that you're trying to fill using the P&P bag pumps rather than the gravity system as it was designed. So that is not recommended. You'll be here literally all day trying to fill 4,100 pounds of water weight using just those two pumps. So fill the ballast first, close the ballast valves, engage the P&P bags. I don't know why, but they tend to fill much faster if you're actually underway. So typically what I do is fill the hard tanks, engage the P&P bags, and throw somebody in the water and start pulling them. And then as they surf, you'll see the wave progressively get better and better until you get it where you want it. My personal experience with this particular boat is that the goofy wave is best when the right tank, hard tank is completely full and bag is completely full. The left hard tank is completely full and the left bag about half full. The way I accomplish that is I let both of the bags fill all the way up, then I turn the pumps off. Then while I'm at surf speed, I just kind of reach over here, hit the left gate, and give it about 15 seconds to bleed off water. And then I close it, and that should bleed off about half of the bag, giving you a pretty good surfable, goofy wave. This boat does have the ability, because the software has not been updated in the surf wakeboard computer yet to manually override the surf system, these are the manual override switches for the surf tabs. When everything's engaged automatically, they just engage 100%. I suppose you could play with this and try and change your wave a little bit with manual override. If you upgrade the software in the computer system, you lose that ability. The computer upgrade deletes the manual override function of the tabs, and they just are engaged 100% of the time. And the only benefit that I know of that it gives you is the ability to engage the tabs while the boat's on the trailer, which maybe for maintenance purposes would be something you'd want, but I like the idea of manual override should I ever decide to play with that. This toggle down here is the center plate. When I'm surfing goofy, I usually have this tab, depending on river currents and how the wave looks, I usually have it about 50% down. That usually cleans it up pretty good. You can play with that, obviously. I don't have any settings for you or preferred setup for the other side of the boat, the wrong side of the boat, because everybody in my family surfs goofy, so it's never really an issue. Okay, we're done surfing for the day. It's time to go home. Or we need to go get lunch, and we don't want to drive across the lake with ballast tanks full, so we need to get home. Pretty simple. We're just going to reach over here, open these two tanks, take the computer out of surf mode. You know what, let me put the key in real quick, because that's probably something I should have mentioned earlier. Give it a second. Okay, so this is the default setting for the screen when you start the boat up. It's always going to default into wakeboard mode with everything off. To put it into surf mode, we're going to push and hold this last button over here all the way to the left. We're going to hold that for a minute, and it's going to switch to surf. And here's where we can go in and set our surf speed, plus and minus. And this is to turn the GPS speed control on or off. That's all that button does. This is pretty important over here. This is the button that determines which side of the boat the surf wave will be on, not which side the tab is engaged on, because the tab is engaged on the opposite side of the boat. So when you're in surf left mode, the right tab is in the water to list the boat to the left, and vice versa. So because I'm goofy, it always defaults to the left. I don't know why. I don't know why it wants to do that wrong thing, but we're going to go ahead and hit that and switch to right surf mode. Yeah, yes, I know that that warning siren is obnoxiously loud. I'm sure there's a way to unplug it or delete it, but I've just never looked into it. Anyways, I imagine its sole purpose is to let the rider know that the boat is about to switch waves so that they can make their way over to the other side of the boat. And then up here we have the center tab. If I go down here and grab the toggle, control the center tab that way, and that will give you that LED printout will give you an idea of where the tab location is. If we go here and just short press, not a long hold. Long hold's going to change it to from surf back to wakeboard and back again. If we just press and release, this is where we get all of our tab locations when it's in surf mode and the boat's moving. The starboard tab or port tab, depending on which side of the boat you're surfing on, is going to be at 100%, and you can use those tabs to manually override that and drop it down if you wanted to. I've played with it a little bit and never got a better wave than just at 100%, so I usually don't go into manual mode and mess with it. Here's the manual mode button. That's telling you that manual mode is enabled in surf. And we can go back over here, and we'll put it back in wakeboard mode. Okay, so now we're getting ready to leave for the day or get lunch or whatever. We put it back into wakeboard mode. Make sure the speed control is turned off. Off is all black. On is when the gray is engaged, just in case there was any confusion there. Then we're going to reach over here. We're going to open the tanks. And we're going to hit the throttle and take off. As the boat gets underway, somewhere around 10 to 12 miles an hour, if you have the tank turned on and you're watching the ballast gauge, it will drop very, very quickly. I think the entire boat empties in probably 45 seconds or so. And you'll feel it, obviously, because the boat will suddenly start going much faster without any throttle input at all. So that'll be your clue that your tanks are emptying. What else? I don't think there's anything else. I think that's it. I think that should pretty much cover it. I hope everybody learned something, or if you are new to MB and we're trying to figure it out. I know when I first bought this boat, I spent many days on the water just playing with it, trying to figure it all out, trying to understand how the system works. Now that I have a pretty good understanding of it, our setup to go surfing is very quick, and coming home is even faster. So that's it. Surf's up, people. Have a great day.